introduce you to our viewers. I am here. Y'all just don't know how important this interview is for number one, Black Girl Magic. Number
Oh,
two, just a powerful Black woman dominating in her field, letting others know that it is possible to do whatever it is that you want to do as long as you take the first step in doing it. So I am here with the first Black bobsledder for the women's Olympic teams, touted as a dual athlete, in addition to being the national and world champion deadlifter uh, of the world, combined with 22 medals. First of all, congratulations, Queen. And secondly,
thank
thank
you.
you. Welcome. Thank you again for joining me. So, could you give our viewers a little background on your start that got you to where you are now?
Wow, it's a long story. I got a book I'm going to tell y'all about that just came out. It's going to tell the whole story. But yeah, I was the first Black female bobsledder. That's true. So I'm a pioneer. But my passion and my love is my sport of powerlifting. That's the one when you were talking about the deadlifts. So we squat, bench press, and deadlifts. So that's my primary sport,
Hmm.
right? And strongest woman and man win at the end of that day.
Wow.
And it's really it's pretty cool because when I first started the sport of powerlifting, I came out of bodybuilding, which you see on the shows and you get on the stage and you show off
Mhm.
what you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, all that stuff.
Right.
So I went from there to actually a sport that you either lift it or you don't.
Right.
And it's been my passion and my gift from God from day one. That's why I still am doing it. So 40 years later, I'm still powerlifting. I'm still on the top level. I'm a professional. And the bobsled came by way of them recruiting me because they needed strong women on the team for the US. And
Wow.
at that time, European, those the Great Britain and Germany and Canada, them girls was killing the United States because they were big,
Right.
5'10", 230 pounds, pushing a sled.
Right.
United States didn't have nothing close to that. So that's been my journey for the longest. So I'm actually just been living my passion and my gift for a very long time now. And I wrote a book on it because I wanted to tell the whole world anybody can do this. Anybody can do anything they want to do in life as long as they have the vision and the passion and the intent, and you got a lot of God with you. You're
Okay.
gonna you're gonna succeed. So that's all that is to it. So you gotta have God first. And I preach that till I'm blue. Without him, you ain't got nothing else. But so and then um I've just been living my purpose and my passion and my love for 4 decades. I really just have. And then God has put me in different positions where now I was the first to do something. So there's your bragging rights being a pioneer. But I didn't think that stuff when I got in it. I was just in there, and then white folks was just trying their hardest to get me to go away. They kept looking at this, they like, go away. And I was like, no, I'm gonna stay because I'm pissing you off and I like that.
Right.
So I stayed around. Yeah, but so um I didn't know then what the plan was now in the journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, you overcame opposition as the first Black woman bobsledder, but you started out bodybuilding. Like you just been on top of your game from day one. Like you knew you wanted to do this amazing thing, and you just did not let anything hinder you. Now, looking past the ignorance to win in not just the sport but life, how did you sustain?
I prayed a lot, Wanda.
Hmm.
I prayed all the time. I constantly had God with me the whole way. Till now, even now. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of meditating. I did a lot of searching and making sure that I just prayed a lot. That's the
Hmm.
honest God truth. That's all I had to keep me going because it was tough.
I'm sure.
It was not tough in my sport of powerlifting because that's my love and my
Right.
passion. I've been the longest. But when I came to that bobsled, that was tough. And I had to pray a lot. So that's what helped me get through it all, honestly. Just a lot of prayer and believing in myself and believing that God got me. and he gonna put me in rooms that I'm supposed to belong. And
Okay.
they might be tough, but when we get down to it, he gave me everything. He gave me the mental, physical, and spiritual to get through it all. Especially the physical, of course.
Right.
I was strong enough. So they just didn't know what to do with me, Twan. They didn't know what to do with me. Do your friends call you T?
TB.
They call you did they call you TB? Did they call
Mhm.
you okay? Because I was gonna say some friends that I know that their name Tawanda, we just
Uh-huh.
call them T or Terry. We just call them T.
So they call me TBT, different things. It just depends. I know who they talking about.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my whole journey so far. It's just all been about God. I just have to say that I'm very faith based and I'm very spiritual, and I believe in all of this because God has shown me over and over and over again in my life, in my story now, and it's continuing and it's getting ready to really blow up now. So He's been planning this the whole way.
Yes,
I
he has.
just been the faithful servant to do what I was supposed to do along the way. I really did. I never got off my track here.
That's crazy. For 40 years, that's a long, it's not crazy, but it's just like the burnout. You didn't face the burnout.
I did 3 times in my career, in my athletic career, in powerlifting. I did.
Hmm.
Now, I never experienced it in bobsled because I was so focused on just hitting that sled, getting it down there as fast as I could, and looking at them and going, I told you I could do this, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, in my weightlifting career, yes, I burnt out a couple of times, but
That's
I had
crazy.
great coaches and I had great support. Just
Hmm.
keep, and I got out of that stage. I kept on moving. I
So
was
how,
real hard. I was real hard to get along with. Worked out. Let
uh,
me tell you, I couldn't get along with myself because I was missing my food. That's
uh-huh.
my food, and I was hungry. I was like, oh my God, what's going on with me? I'm going nuts. So anyway,
You were angry.
oh my God, I was pissed because I didn't know what was going on, and then my coach just explained to me. My one coach, she said, "You're burning out," and she
Hmm.
told me how to get over it, and I did.
Right.
It didn't take very long, like a month out of 40 years or something. You know what I mean? So it
That's
wasn't too.
crazy. Right. Right. Something you've been doing, but you remain teachable though.
Oh yeah, always, always. Is that what you were going to ask me? Because you were going to ask me something. I kind of interrupted
Oh, no, no, I have
you.
questions for days.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You keep asking. I hope I
Um,
can answer.
now tell us the power of spiritual guidance and how it propelled you into being this phenomenal trainer because you're a trainer now too, an athlete 40 years later.
Wow. You know what I ended up doing just recently? I really started um, teaching myself the laws of the universe.
Mm,
12 laws of the universe. And everybody from Oprah to everybody else is talking about this now. And
hmm.
they're talking about leveling up and spiritually coming up here and vibrating on a high level and
Right,
connecting with people that are spiritually inclined and they're in the right spot, in the right
right.
space, right? I started diving into a few books and I don't like to read much at all, believe it or not. It's funny because I got a book came out and I don't like to read. I like Audible. I like listening. So I
Uh-huh,
got a hold of one book that really taught me all this, and it was called The Secret.
uh-huh.
It's by Rhonda Byrne. And when she first came out, she was on Oprah. And everybody's like, what's this big secret? All it is the law of attraction.
Hmm.
What you
Hmm.
think about, you bring about. And so
Right,
I started learning all of that, the laws of the universe, how this all works, how we're all connected, how we're connected to God, like really get connected with Him,
right, right, right.
and how everything will start coming together. So that was my journey. And it had been my journey since. I had to really teach myself to calm myself, settle down, and start listening more what God
Right.
was telling me.
Mm,
Because we're humans. You know how we are. We're
yes.
stubborn. We don't want to. We want to do it our way all the time. So that's been my biggest journey of spirituality. I learned it. I listening to that book. And then I started pulling up affirmation reels, and everybody from me along to everybody else talking about get toxic people out of your life,
Mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm.
your life right,
Right,
get your purpose together, get your energy right, get folks away from you that don't have your energy, because all they do is pull you back down, right?
right.
And get on a level where everybody is thinking and feeling the same thing. They're
Period.
like right, like being spiritually awakened, like
Mm-hmm.
you're woke. You're like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's been my whole career has been like that. But lately here, it has really gone to a much higher level of vibrating here.
I,
I'm up here now. I'm not even close down in the middle. I'm way up.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah.
for you. Now, peeling back the layers, what do you love about yourself that you refuse to give up while on your journey?
I refuse to give up me, my self love. I love me. I've
Okay.
always loved from day one to now. I've never had a problem with loving on me. And I've never had a problem with self esteem. These are all gifts now. Don't get me wrong. This all came from him because I've been an athlete from day one.
Right.
Okay. So from day one, I've been this way. But that's one thing I refuse to give up on me, give up on me, period. I don't care what happens to me in life. I don't care how I'm gonna come up out of that hole some kind of way. I'm gonna figure it out, you know. So I think from myself, it's just always that I really love myself and I care about me and I know God loves me.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to love me. He loves me, so I need to love me too. So that's been my whole journey in life. I just all the stuff I didn't been through. Oh my God. I just continue. I always came back to me. I always came
Okay.
back to me, and I always came back to my faith. Seriously, my relationship with Him,
Mm-hmm.
it's always been like this, and I refuse to give that up ever in my lifetime. So that thing, that ride or die, that's my ride or die right there,
Okay.
and I'm my ride or die. I'm me too. Me,
Period. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
answered them right. Okay. I ain't
yeah.
judging. Now, now, how do you honor yourself while still giving absolute grace to others? And what space holders do you give yourself while still becoming who you are as a powerful Black woman?
Okay, you broke up a little bit, so say the question.
So the question is, how do you honor yourself while still giving absolute grace to others? And what space holders do you give yourself while still becoming a powerful Black woman?
Wow. You know what? For me, I'm always given, I always play it forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Always. Like my whole essence. I want to give you something. Even though I got all this stuff over here, I'm just like I'm constantly trying to give somebody else something.
Right, right,
That's
right.
the way I play it forward all the time. I'm very humble in all of my achievements, but I'm constantly looking at the next person going, "Oh, I want to help you. I want
Right.
to help you. I want to help you." And that's been my whole essence about me. It resonates in me to be that way. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Right.
You
No,
know
no,
what I
no.
mean?
Perfect sense.
Um, I'm always doing this. I'm always giving back. Just, I won't, and even if it's something small to you, it's something big to me.
Facts, facts.
So for you to be able to achieve it, that's big to me.
Right, right, right.
Even though you might look at it and go, oh, that's it's no big deal. Oh yeah, it's a real big deal. It really is. Because those little small steps and those little small goals and dreams, oh my God, they turn into big stuff. They
That's
really
right.
do. Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of all of me. Like that's what I try to do. It's constantly playing it forward all the time. Really do. Whatever, however small or large that may be. It might be just a kind gesture, I say, or
Mm-hmm.
a kind thought, or you look nice today, just bringing our sisters up. We always trying to, oh, this jealous and envy stuff. I am not about none of that.
I'm telling
You
you.
know what? And if you're achieving something that is great for you, like let's just say physical fitness wise, and you really been working hard and you uh lose that 5 pounds that you wanted to lose. I'm just giving you an example, right? I'm you for me, it seemed like you lost 500 pounds because that
Right,
is a huge, huge thing for me.
right,
And
right,
it
right.
and once I start talking to that person, I'm like, they be thinking, oh my God, this was great. Yes, it was. It was a great achievement. Nothing too small. It it's nothing too small here as far as your goals and your dreams. So that's kind of hope I answered that right. That's what I give back. I always stay humbled in that, just always giving back.
No, you
My
answered
knowledge,
it
yeah, my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, my age has a lot to do with that now that I'm getting older. I've got more wiser, I got more experience underneath my belt, and I'm able to show other people how do I do this?
right.
How do I live this magic of life that I'm living? Well, let me tell you, man, I start showing you. It's real simple, actually.
Okay.
It starts up here. It starts in these two spots right here. That's it.
Hmm.
If you got this together, you're on your way. Time to go.
Right. Keep it together. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
do you grieve who you were in the beginning? Sometimes as we age, we humanize, we soften in areas where we should have more strength because we age.
Do I grieve a part of me that used to be me? Is basically what.
Hmm.
No. You know why? Because I don't have any regrets. Everything I've gone through in life as I'm getting older, I've just learned from each and every experience I've had. Each and everything I've gone through, whether that be a person, place, thing, or opportunity in my life, I look back now and I don't grieve any of it because I see now what it is, T. I see is God planting me
Hmm. Hmm.
and planting me in this spot where I'm supposed to grow and learn as I go along. So
Period.
yeah, what do I need to grieve about? Oh, heavy.
Right.
I'm glad. I'm actually more in a joyous spot now because I came out of all that. I was in it, came out of it, and I keep moving. I don't even look back on this stuff. I'm like, whatever. I'm good. I'm over this way.
Okay.
So
You're in alignment.
very much so. Very much. Very
Now,
much.
you train MMA fighters, all the things. I mean, and like you said, even you, when you were younger, had a ego a little bit, maybe about your food. Um, what is one story where it was hell or high waters, but you got through to the toughest um, person you were training? Someone who's just like definitely difficult, but you broke through.
I had one guy I was training in powerlifting, my
Mhm.
weightlifting. And he was one, Joe was the one that liked to read. He was very analytical. Used to
Mhm.
drive me out of my mind. And I used to tell him, I said, Joe, listen, this is not that hard. Just do what I tell you to do. You're gonna be a winner like me. And he would always come to me and say, Krista, I read this. I read this powerlifter did this, and they lifted this way, and he used to drive me out of my mind. And I was patient though, but I used to tell him all the time, listen, you gotta trust me, okay? Just trust me. Because I told him something that my coaches said to me. I had two of the strongest women in the world train me,
Mhm.
and they got me where I'm at. They both said two things. They said one thing to me each, kind of like the same time. They said, do you agree to do what I say when I say it? Because I'm already there.
Right.
Basically, I'd be like Serena and Venus talking to you and saying, do you agree to do what I'm telling you to do? Because I'm Serena or I'm Venus. That's what they were saying to me.
Right.
And I said, absolutely. So he was my biggest test because I had to show him, just trust. I'm already there. I'm going to get you there. Get your butt out of that book. Because everything in that book is not going to be what you're going to experience. It's not going to be to a T like that.
Right.
So he was one of my, And when we finally got there, he failed a bit because he's being stubborn and his ego was in the way. And he wanted to read the book and say, "Oh no, this is the way to go." When he did fail a couple of times and we didn't match what he wanted to do, he come back to me. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have listened." Yes, you should have. But I sat back and let him do that. Now, and I would say he's the one of the ones. But if you think about that, ain't that how God does us?
Okay.
We be stubborn as heck and we want to do it our way and we want to control it. And
Mm-hmm.
then God be like, step back, and he'd say, "Well, go on then. If you think you can do it, I'm gonna sit back here and watch what happens." What do? You turn around and go, "I'm sorry." Because you know it's right, right?
Right,
So he
right.
was one of my, but when he finally got it together, oh my God, he he was amazing to coach.
Mm-hmm.
He was locked in, he was spot on, his technique was flawless, and he got to a high level in a very short time after he fell on his butt, a hard head, soft butt kind of thing.
Facts,
And
facts.
then he turned around, but he just, yeah, he made me so proud. I was just like, I broke him because ooh, and he a man too. I was like, oh my God, these guys and their egos is like, stop it, So, but he was one of my prized possessions as far as coaching. But he was actually being coached in powerlifting, and he was one of the guys.
Your magnum opus pupil. Now,
See,
you are author of newest manuscript, Krista's Promise, a self-help and spiritual memoir. Tell us about that. And what can
oh,
viewers expect when they order that book?
oh, it'll change your life. That's all I can say. It'll change your life because it's changed mine. I'm actually, it's a memoir of my life, but I'm just a vessel. That's what I will say. I'm just getting ready to tell the whole world what I've been doing all along. You
Hmm.
and I, T, and everybody together here on this earth, we're all connected. We're all spiritually connected. We're all connected. We're all connected to our creator. That's
Right,
just truth, right? And anybody can live the magic of life. Just got to get three things in order in your life. And it says it all in this book because it's all these different compelling stories of things I've actually gone through in my life because it's a
right,
memoir. You get yourself together spiritually, physically, and mentally. Those three things in life, you got it. Got the secret. You can live the magic of life. You can be happy. You can get to all your goals and your dreams and your aspirations, and you get intentional and you just start moving and you do not turn around and go back this way. You always keep going. That's what my book has to give to the whole world. And I know it will resonate with everybody who reads it because I have all these different facets in my life that I've experienced, even up to this point. I know there is something in there for everybody. Everybody. They're going to read it. And when I wrote it, I kept saying to my publisher, I want it to be a page turner where people go, "What?
right.
What happened? How did you get out of this one?" That. And that's exactly how my book came out. A page turner like this. But it's really all, I tell people all the time, this is really about God and us and why we're here on earth. We all have purpose. All of us have
Right.
purpose while we're here. All of us do. So all we got to do is tap into it.
Facts.
Purpose. What do you want to do? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Do it. Go be happy. Just live life. That's what my book is all about. Just live life. You gotta, and if you have an inkling to do something, do it.
Right.
We on a time clock, and this is not refundable. We're not
Okay.
gonna turn back time and go, oh, okay, let's go back. No, no, no. That ain't refundable. So I tell people all the time, go live your life. Be happy.
Right.
Do what makes you happy. I don't care if it's something small, like going to get a cup of coffee every day. If that makes you happy, go get your cup of coffee. Get your day started right.
Okay.
That's the way I look at things. I'm just like, whatever. It could be so small, but it makes you happy, makes you smile like you're smiling right now. Go do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's just meditating and being with yourself. If that's what makes you happy, tell everybody else, leave you alone. You go off and be by yourself, and that's what makes you have to do it.
Period.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
this is gonna this is a powerful, powerful, powerful book, and it's not the last one. I'm gonna have a series. This journey I'm on right now is God is just moving it, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, I got to keep telling the story of how this is getting ready to end up.
Right. I like that you talk about not just the big wins. You've had so many big wins in the 40 years that you've been doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
But you also talk about your failures too, and kind of like the book of Job hitting rock bottom and losing everything and then getting back to you now.
everything. Exactly.
So when you say you're going to do your book and series, how many books are you putting out?
The testimony, without the test, you don't have the testimony, right?
Facts.
So, where we go? Are you still hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, okay.
It just went out. It went out. Anyway. That's the enemy. Because we talking about good spiritual stuff. So the enemy always tries to go,
Uh-huh.
okay, now let
Listening
me let me
in. Yep.
interrupt this. Let me distract this. But yeah, I all of my tests have been my testimony now. So
Hmm.
without those, where would I be, right?
Right.
For me. And I had to go through all that stuff. And then I have learned every trial and tribulation I've gone through to get over here, that I can give to you and show you what I did.
Hmm.
And it may help you. I don't know. It may help you go, oh, I went through that or I'm going through that. And let me try what she did because she came out of it okay. And
Right.
let me try it. So whatever which way that I've gone through all the hardship and hurt, all that stuff, if I could give that back to you, that I came out of it, that's all I aspire to do. Help somebody else get through it. There's a way to get through this stuff. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I have three more questions. Very easy.
Okay. Okay.
How do you help? What is a word of encouragement for older women trying to find their edge, trying to find their way in this fitness realm?
A word would be have a plan.
Hmm.
You gotta have a plan first. I don't care how old you are.
Okay.
Even for the older, how we get older, we get kind of stuck in our ways and you don't want to move and you're stubborn. But if you want to do something for you, sit down and write your plan out. What do you want? You got to ask yourself, especially the older sisters and people out here that want to get themselves physically back together.
Hmm.
So you got to sit down and just ask yourself, what do I want? I want to have a tighter body. I want to lose some weight. I want to get my cardio together so my heart would be better. I have more energy. You got to ask yourself, what do you want to do?
Right.
And once you do that, write it down. And then you have to formulate a plan of how you're going to get that. That's what I would suggest because that's the way I started in the first place. Had a plan.
Right.
I sat down and said, what do I want to do? I just started doing it. But yeah, I would say, and take the age out of it because there's a lot of people. I'm at my age now, and I've been doing this 40 years. Now, people will say, "You're how old and you've been doing it?" Yes, it's all in mindset. You
Right.
gotta believe in the first. Don't worry about your age. If you know that you can still get up, walk that way, there's cardio right there. You get started right off the bat doing that. Right off the bat. So it's all up here as far as age is concerned. Take a
Okay.
one.
Now
Oh,
this
go ahead.
this
I'm here.
question is from my 23-year-old daughter because
Okay.
I told her I was interviewing you tonight and explained to her
Okay.
what were your successes. And the early 20s,
Ooh,
anytime in your 20s, you're still trying to figure it out.
you if that's getting to your 20s and your 30s and
In
sometimes your
your
40s. You
40s.
still gotta figure it out. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
question was, how do you focus on on yourself instead of trying to look for love and help while helping others. I think that's what she meant to say.
Say the question again.
So, how do you focus on yourself instead of trying to look for love while helping others or helping others? So, I think that is her flaw, that she's pouring too much of herself into other people.
Wow. And you know what? That's everybody in the world, it seems like now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a common thing. Um, with I just did a speech up in Seattle, and I was talking to a bunch of HBCU students, which I was just I love these kids. They got the right mindset, right? And the one thing that I told them was that if you find something that you want to do, you have to get intentional. You have to focus totally. And it's hard because I was telling those kids, these toxic people, these little friends around you that are trying to pull you got to get rid of them. You got to let them go because they'll be the fastest ones to just suck you dry of everything. And it sounds like with your daughter is always trying to do that, like
Mm-hmm.
pour out to everybody else, right? Man, the
Right.
people will suck you dry. They
Okay.
really will. And maybe if it's family or friends or relationship, whatever, you have to get back into just doing a lot of self love. You got to get back into you. So for her, all she needs to do, figure out what she wants, whatever it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all this energy that she's soaking out to everybody else, she needs to direct that right back to her and stay focused on whatever it is that she wants to do. And these people, she gonna have to say no to them.
Period.
Gonna have to say no. You really will, because if you're constantly drawing all your energy into giving, man, you just start going down, 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 down. And these people will keep asking you, gimme, 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 because you
Same.
keep giving, right? You know, so for her, you tell her she got to say no, and she got to
Mm-hmm.
start focusing on her. And I know it doesn't. It sounds easier than what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but once you start saying no to these people, even though they have maybe and they just really draw to you and they feel like you can help them, once you start saying no, they'll get the picture. And then once you get locked in on what you want to do, so you tell your daughter, once she gets locked in on what she wants, trust me, it might seem selfish, but it is not. It's called self love. It's like doing for me first,
Mm-hmm.
then you can do for others. That's what I told those students. I said, do for you first, do your studies, do what you're supposed to do right now for you. And then if you got a little time, you give out that right there, but you got to come
Right.
back to you first. You start first, then go. So you
Period.
got God, you, and then family, friends, everything else. That's third. Got to
Right.
go put in first, then you, then give it out. Because what? Think about it. Even for your daughter, if she's putting out so much, what she got to give to herself?
I've told her already, but maybe it'll sound, maybe coming from you, she'll understand that I too have lived a life. And we know what we're talking about.
And you know what? It's going to be confirmation for her. She doesn't know me. You don't know me, but we
Right.
asked that question because she asked the question, right?
Right.
Now, isn't that? It's no coincidence that me and you are giving the same answer.
Information. Right. Right.
So
She gonna
yes, you're right. She'll probably go, "Oh, well, my mom was telling the right thing." Yes, she really was. But
you
I
know
understand.
they don't think I know what I'm talking about most days.
Well,
They think.
what
But
child thinks any adults know anything? They just think no, they're just about oh, so yes. If she starts, she just gonna have to start saying no.
I
She
will
really
take
is.
that. So my
Yes.
last question before we run out of time is
Oh,
where can our viewers find your book and follow you?
okay. So it's funny because I'm not much of a social media person,
Oh
but I
Lord.
am on some things. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Those two things, I'm on Power by Krista. That's my company, and I'm on there with that. I have a website. Find me all on that. So it's www.powerbykrista.com. Now the book is awesome. It just dropped in October, and they're already selling out of it and having back orders on this. That's God doing that.
Right.
This is his project. So you can find, it's called Krista's Promise. You got to get the book so you'll know what the promise was, because it was a promise I made to God. Now the book is here. So here's your proof in the pudding. So that's all I can say about that. I'll let you get the book so you get it. Amazon. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can get it there. Bookshop.org. Are you writing this down or do I have to?
I'm recording you.
I'm old school when I'm talking about you writing it down. I'm so old school.
Write it down. I'm like, oh.
Forgive me for that. That's that OG in me. Bookshop.org. It's on Apple Books. That's the ebook. So you got paperback, hardback, ebook, and now I'm getting ready to come out with Audible because I told you I don't like to read.
Right.
So that's coming out soon. So you can find it on all of those platforms. And there's 2 spots here. If anybody in Atlanta is listening, there's 2 spots here in Atlanta. It's Nubian Bookstore and Tall Tales Bookstore. And we're getting ready to get it in a bunch more brick and mortar stores here in Atlanta as we're going. But you can find it on any of those.
Awesome sauce. So thank you so much, Krista. I enjoyed our time. You are a doggone superstar, rock star, and I appreciate you giving the golden nuggets to my daughter.
Thank you. Thank you.